Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. And as is our custom, we will wait a few more seconds to allow everyone to join us today. And as we're waiting, just want you to make sure you got your pen and paper out so that you can take a couple of notes here and there. Um, some people like to copy and paste our slides as we're going through them so that they've got um, more of a better record, if you will. And we're just about ready to get going. So I'm going to open up our slides and ask ask them to expand themselves. And here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. As today's 14 or so minute journey progresses, we shall explore the concepts of strategic knowledge. We'll discuss some strategies for recognizing and understanding our leadership challenges, and we will examine a few useful maps for increasing or improving our knowledge artifacts. So let's get going. O Lord, how manifold and many and great, and how very much are your works, undertakings, deeds, and achievements. In artfully intelligent and highly skillful wisdom have you made them all. The earth is full of your riches, created wealth, and acquired possessions. As every believer has received the gift, even so minister, serve, and supply the same one to another. As good stewards, Christians who use God's gifts for the good of the brethren and others, of the manifold grace, the aggregate of the extremely diverse and various sorts of powers, gifts, and benefits of God. If using manifolds or capabilities, power, and stabilizing forces is good enough for God, then we human leaders should borrow a page or two from his good book too. In the coming slides, we'll dig a little deeper into the manifold traits, ideals, and advantages of wealth producing knowledge. As Dr. Weinberger says, we need to compare what it means to know something as opposed to understanding it. In terms of mental concepts, it means that I don't see how my knowledge connects. That's the key. Understanding is about seeing things connected into larger contexts. It's why understanding admits of degrees. We can understand a little or understand a lot about something. Whereas knowledge is generally binary, you know or you don't know. Knowing without understanding is useless. Understanding is the goal of knowing. Understanding enhances knowledge because understanding equals knowledge plus connection. David Weinberger explains that reading is a negotiation. However, there are times when we feel we have to win an argument with a writer. At that point, we stop reading sympathetically. Where once we tried to get pieces and words to fit together, now we look for the bad joinings and weaker supports. We tap against the sentences, hoping to hear a hollow sound behind them, or perhaps even to feel them give in to the pressure of our critical review. This unsympathetic reading teaches us less, for it merely confirms our current beliefs. We have too strong a motive for misunderstanding what the person meant, too often leading us to the least convincing interpretation of what an author has said. This also happens in our conversations with others. It makes clear how social reading is. Reading is never simple fact gathering. It's a negotiation in which we try out meanings to see which ones suit us best. Done right, reading is a sympathetic negotiation in which we believe the author will change our world and our way of moving through it. In a word, we must eagerly look for reliable ways of acquiring new possessions of wealth producing knowledge. Conversing, discussing, and reading done wrong without sympathy not only teaches us less than it can leave us worse off than before by confirming that we have nothing to learn from other people. Without sympathy, there is no understanding and nothing worth understanding. As Nobel Prize economist George Akerlof describes in his prize-winning paper, those who withhold or block out information during their interactions will enjoy a far less quality of knowledge and understanding than those who transmit and open themselves to fully receive the information. Only those people who faithfully obey Akerlof's law of transactional quality in their conversations, discussions, and reading will discover those golden nuggets of wealth-producing ideas, strategic ideals, new interpretations, or game-changing instructions. Back in September 2015, in his Harvard Business Review post, Why Curious People Are Destined for the C-Suite, author Warren Berger reports that when asked recently to name the one attribute CEOs will need most to succeed in the turbulent times ahead, Michael Dell, the chief executive of Dell Incorporated, replied, "I would place my bet on curiosity." Dell was responding to a 2015 Price Waterhouse survey of more than 1,000 CEOs, a number of whom cited curiosity and open-mindedness as leadership traits that are becoming increasingly critical in challenging times. Another of the respondents, McCormick and Company's CEO Alan D. Wilson, noted that business leaders who are always expanding their perspective and what they know and have that natural curiosity are the people that are going to be successful. Using your number one most important behavior, which is your intense desire for seeking and discovering new knowledge, and your eager curiosity for learning new insights, instructions, and ideas, just like Peter Drucker advised leaders to do, you will find yourself easily applying, understanding, and producing new knowledge artifacts or products that are certain to generate wealth for your team, peers, and organization. So, which side of these two lists of responsibilities and authority duties or roles and supplies styles is the most important? There are some coaches and leadership educators who will tell you that one of these lists is more important to use an application of your to use and an application of your knowledge than the other list. However, INSEAD Professor Petra Guglieri and I both will warn you to carefully read and understand the critical importance of the problem that's being described in the middle of those two lists. The crisis or problems that most leaders face today have nothing to do with a lack of sympathetic knowledge when it comes to reading the ideals, thoughts, and feelings of their people or understanding the situations and challenges facing them. Many leaders fail to devote more effort and time to strengthening their sympathetic reading skills, especially when it comes to reading and understanding the ideas or trends or patterns or the possibilities being communicated by and communicated in our world today. Every leadership application of power has to position itself in accordance or compliance with the principle of universal integrity. That is, every time a leader has to read, react, or rely on any information, that leader must use those strengthening, reinforcing, elastic, or implosive forces to surround, incorporate, or envelop the escaping explosive or exhausting forces of chaos, confusion, and condemnation, which threatens our ability to deeply understand and appreciate the validity of the situation, conversation, or circumstance. Only your sympathetic, which is more accurately stated as your strategic method for applying or absorbing knowledge, which is how you can sustain and supply your deep reservoir of understanding. It is only your deep understanding that can provide you with the widest possible arc of broad acceptance, a global perspective, and an intensive concentration of, on the matter at hand. There are only two types of experiences any human being can have. Either your experience will be a result of an experiment, a plan, an intention, or some other form of pursuit that you were engaged in or committed to, or your experience will be something that just happened to you, like an airplane falls out of the sky or onto your house, or a criminal steals your credit card from the cash register, or a competitor invents and offers the marketplace something that is so totally new and radically different from anything ever seen before. Regardless of the type of experience, you must apply your sympathetic knowledge skills to increasing or deepening your understanding of that experience. Or, as Peter Drucker says, checking the results of a decision against its expectations shows executives what their strengths are, where they need to improve, or where they lack knowledge or information. All reality comes in two different forms or realms. That means you will see, hear, smell, touch, or otherwise sense the physical aspects and traits of your reality, and there will be an intangible or unseen form of that reality that your physical senses can never experience. However, those metaphysical phenomena like ideas, ideals, insights, etc., all of your leadership performances must keep both forms of reality in your heart and mind at all times. In a word, things, places, and performances are physical, while emotions, wills, and thoughts are metaphysical. Both are important aspects of your reality that you must understand to operate effectively. Peter Drucker advises leaders that a manager is responsible for the application and performance of knowledge. Regardless of your preferred leadership style, role, or practice domain, before attempting to handle any of these causes, sources, and inputs, or produce the results, outcomes, and products indicated on the right, you would certainly demand to assemble a deeper understanding of the concepts which are represented by the causes, sources, and inputs. Then you might need to make use of a few different types of disciplined applications. For instance, you would want to create templates for constructing frameworks and design maps for organizing information, and become proficient in your categorization or evaluation techniques for weighing or analyzing information. You would need to discover the most appropriate tabulating and formulating technologies to transform information into knowledge or wisdom. And finally, you would have to use software tools to score and track the results of your influences or actions. Self-improvement entrepreneur Earl Nightingale tells us that success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal, while Albert Pike suggests the most dependable way to achieve success is to remember that philosophy is a kind of journey, ever learning yet never arriving at the ideal perfection of truth. As Peter Drucker said, knowledge has to be improved, challenged, and increased constantly or it vanishes. And we now accept the fact that learning is a lifelong process of keeping abreast of change, and the most pressing task is to teach people how to learn. This is a strategy map for leaders and professionals who wish to engage their journey towards achieving their self-directed learning goals or objectives. I hope you saw how and what effective leaders search for, find, and apply deep pockets of the world's knowledge, especially when they wish to increase or improve their understanding of their situations, their people, challenges, and opportunities. And perhaps you can now begin to see the usefulness of following Akerlof's law of transactional quality and applying Bucky Fuller's principle of universal integrity in all your leadership endeavors. More importantly, you should appreciate the compelling reasons for sympathetic reading, or what I call the continuous absorption and application of strategic knowledge in each and every one of your conversational visualization or imagination-based activities, because at the end of the day, the deeper your understanding, the greater the wealth-producing potential of your investigations, insights, and instructions. This ends today's lesson. You are looking at the agenda that shows you what you will learn, practice, and master in my legendary Leadership Power tutorials and coaching monthly performance improvement support program. And in addition to these 9 critically important subjects, you'll also participate in our powerfully helpful group coaching sessions every month. Our group coaching sessions are 75 to 90 minutes each. Plus, you will also get another 60 minutes of private, confidential, one-on-one coaching and tutoring follow-up meetings with me each and every month. That's when you and I share our notes, diagrams, ideas, strategies, exercises, case studies, and we work together to resolve any challenges that you might be encountering. I will also mail you new DVDs and CDs every month, and I'll email you ways to access the hundreds of useful books, papers, reports, articles, lessons, video, and audio tutorials, which will always be available in your exclusive members only area. You will have free access to my 60-plus minute webinars and online classes every month. And in so many ways, this program is a custom-tailored solution for your specific needs and goals. It's a multimedia blended learning program that is actually a better value than paying for a university-level PhD in leadership and practical management. And you'll pay less than 1/10 of what the universities tend to charge you for. So I strongly encourage you to click on the enroll and get started now button that you see on the right hand side of the screen, or you can just type in the URL that you see at the bottom of the slide there, and that's www.im.com/LPP-legends. And as you're working through that, I'm going to run back over to our control panel so that I can provide you with the 2 bonus gifts for today for attending today's webinar session. And if you give me a second, I'll just go to this place too and make sure that we have that. And for those of you who are on the webinar replay, as well as those who are here live, I just gave you the 2 links to our 2 PDF bonus gifts for attending our today's webinar session. One is an infographic called the 5 Leadership Uplifter Tasks. It's 1 page. It is a PDF document, so I strongly urge you to download that and print it out, since it's only 1 piece of paper. And the larger the piece of paper, the better and more clear you'll be able to read the infographic. and that's designed to help you as you go through your task as a leader. One or more of those tasks should be included in every leadership action that you take every day. And the second gift is the Words with Wisdom paper. It is an 8-page PDF document, and that's designed for you to read and learn more about the ideas and the principles and the strategies that we covered today in today's episode, as well as in our previous Leadership Power Paradigms episodes. So all of that's there for your benefit and growth. And also for those of you who are looking at the right side of the screen, once again, I'll urge you to run on over and click on the Enroll and Get Started Now button for that program. It will open up a new browser window, so you won't lose us right now, and you can read through that program. In fact, I think you'll find at least when you get to that those 9 items there on the agenda of the program. Items 4 and item 5, that's building leadership agendas and pursuing strategic goals and objectives. Also, if you put your cursor over those two titles, what you will find is it will open up a new browser window for you and show you how you can just build leadership agendas if you feel that that is one of your weaknesses. That's a real great little program there. That's a mini program from this master program, if you will. And number 5 is another mini program about strategic leadership, strategic thinking, and positioning skills. So you can just take those if you feel that those are 2 areas where 1 or 2 areas that you need to improve upon, and you don't need the other 9 items. So yeah, we said, hey, we've got some great little mini programs that people might find a lot more useful, depending on their situation. Yes, and for those of you on the replay recording, of course, look on the right-hand side of the screen, and you'll see the question box there. Please type in your question or comment about anything to do with leadership whatsoever, and when you press the email button, it will automatically email it to me. It will include your name and your email address, which is what you had to use to register for this program in the first place. And I will reply to your email question or comment. And if you wish to discuss your question or comment with me, one-on-one, we can do that for free for you. So you'll have to include your phone number if you're located in the US or in Canada. Only if you're located in the US or Canada, you can include your phone number. Otherwise, I would suggest that you include your Skype ID. Skype is a pre-program, and it works with Macs and PCs and any other type of thing. Basically, if you're located outside of the US or Canada and you include your Skype ID, I will give you a call on Skype and we can have a nice conversation there. And usually what I do is I find that, oh, hey, while I'm discussing this with you, I've got a paper here, or I've got a report, or I've got an article that you might get a little more information from besides what we discuss. And so I will upload that to Skype, which is one of the nice features of Skype. I'll also type in some of my answers in the chat area of Skype, as well as provide you maybe with a link or two to other sources of information and knowledge that you can use. Anyway, so I strongly encourage all of you on the replay recording to send in your question or comment, uh, and also include your Skype ID or your phone number if you're in the U.S. and Canada. Anyway, I don't see any additional questions from anybody here on the live broadcast. So I'm going to say God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us today. Godspeed to you all. And I wish each and every one of you the very best of success in all of your leadership endeavors. This is Bill Thomas saying, see you in a future episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. Take care.